The following is a Joel Michalec production.
Let me explain something to you. Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was. Understand?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to the 104th episode of the Joel Michalec Show, featuring the lovely Sharen. I am Joel Michalec, and I am sitting here next to the lovely Sharen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm beautiful.
Well, that we
No.
we know.
I mean, I feel beautiful.
That's because you are beautiful.
No, stop it. I mean, I feel wonderful.
It's because you are wonderful.
Shut up. Oh, my Lord.
Welcome to the show, folks. www.jmtalk.net. That's the website where you can go and you can get to all the links to subscribe to your to the show on your favorite podcast player, because we're on all the major ones. So you can go there and do that. Also, join us on social media, TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, and Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. So, it's lovely to be here.
I am very happy, and I really, really mean that.
I wanted to say that if you needed to see how people behave behind the wheel of a car in a parking lot, then you should look no further than the Wawa at routes 71 and 72.
Oh, my goodness,
and Red Lion 100.
They don't look.
Oh, my
they
stars.
They don't care.
They don't care.
And,
they don't care.
Yeah.
And even when you have the right of way, like you're backing out, no one's around, you're halfway engaged in backing out of a spot, and they just come racing through like they were always in the right.
I can't stand that. I hate parking lots to begin with. Okay?
Especially small ones.
Anyone's. Big ones, little ones.
Okay.
Okay? Because that is my fear. I am afraid that I'm going to drive by and someone's not going to see me and they're going to pull out and hit me.
Yeah. You know, that's a legitimate fear, especially in a place like that.
And it stems from, do you remember when we first got the Ford, the brand new one?
The Escort?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's a memory, yeah. The 1998 Ford Escort that we bought in 1998, brand new?
Yeah, bought it brand new, 75 miles on it. And I dropped my brother-in-law off at work at a roofing company. And I had, I pulled in and kind of made a horseshoe or U. When I pulled in, dropped them off, and then turned to leave. Well, the person that was driving the pickup that my brother-in-law was going to work in, he hit me in the side of the car and kept going. Pushed the car over.
I feel like I should remember this, but I don't.
Yeah. I remember we had to get a whole new door for the driver's side.
Right. I didn't remember the why, but yeah, I remember having to have all that damage.
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, memories.
Oh my goodness. That's where my fear comes from.
Well, it certainly is. It's really a display of the most ridiculous drivers, and in fact, outside the Wawa, leading up to the intersection, they put up these. You know, I meant to look them up. I don't know what the name of them are. They're the yellow. Sometimes they're orange.
Pylons.
Sometimes they're white. You can call them pylons, I guess, but they're the white tubes that they attach to the roadway with some sort of glue, and they're reflective, and they're supposed to say, "Hey,
you can only drive this way."
Right. Well, there's so many missing because people just
drive
knocking
right
them
through
down.
them. They do. They just drive right through them.
I don't understand it. And this morning I had to swerve, not swerve like, but I had to jockey out of the way because there was one laying down and into the roadway.
Oh, wow.
And I thought to myself this morning, you know what they need to do? They need to put up the concrete barriers. I mean, if you idiots are going to smash into stuff and knock stuff down and break it and crash into it and keep going,
or
you might as well crash into a wall and wreck your shit that you're driving.
I have a
and
better
there
idea.
goes the explicit tag. What's that?
I have a better
idea than a concrete divider?
Yes.
Okay, what?
Okay. So, those nail strips that cops put down on the road to stop someone from getting away? Well, you put them right there.
Okay.
Right? And then you put the pylons up.
Okay.
And if they knock the pylons over, they're going to run over those things and flatten their tires.
But think of this, though. Taking your idea, if I may, and building on that, what if the nail spikes, right? What if they had explosives in them, and then the pylon tubes were full of electricity, so when they bump into them, their tires flatten, there's like, the pylons are like, and then, boom, and then their cars blow up. And then maybe then, they won't drive like a jackass.
Oh my Lord.
And then a concrete wall after that.
People, please help me.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my goodness.
We have to train people how to drive.
No, and I absolutely agree with that.
A little bit of violence goes a long way.
I do not agree. Unfortunately, I guess that we should, blow people up. Yeah. I don't think so. Maybe just flatten their tires, and they'll only do it once.
Okay, but we are talking about what I think
morons,
mental midgets. So I think it might. Oh, probably shouldn't have said that. Someone's going to be offended tomorrow morning now. Jesus.
Oh my God!
Cancel culture. So I'm just saying though, if they get electrocuted while the tires are getting flattened and the front end blows off their car, then I think there's a valuable lesson to be learned. There is all I'm saying.
Okay, but I'm saying. Flatten their tires. Yeah, they may have to put out a couple dollars to get new tires. You're talking about them having to get whole new cars if they in fact did survive this blast.
An insurance company should not cover crap like that.
Right.
Speaking of tires, did you get tires yet?
Oh, yeah, that's a story.
Not for here then. But I do have a story. So we were socialites this past weekend.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Yeah,
we were popular.
We were at our campsite. We entertained on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. So Saturday night we were entertaining our neighbors.
Right.
And I had a couple years ago.
This is funny, guys.
A couple of years ago, I had perfected the art of grilling a frozen burger.
Okay, so people, since this is not TV, I'm just going to have to go and tell you that my eyes are rolling out of my head. Okay?
So I had, over the years, I had perfected the art of grilling a frozen burger. And, of course, we get very expensive Angus burgers from Schwann's.
Yeah.
And they're delicious. They're
absolutely
lean. Well, they're not all that lean. They have fat, but, they're very tasty. You don't bite into fat and gristle like you do a Walmart burger.
Exactly.
So
they don't taste like cardboard.
Right. And every time I cook them, our neighbors that we entertained on Saturday, they're always like, "Wow, that smells really good." So we say, "Well, look, come down next time. We're going to do burgers on Saturday night." Everyone's happy. We're ecstatic. They make a wonderful pasta salad, and we got veggie tray, and we got all the condiments. So anyway, so I go out and I get the grill all fired up and heated up and everything, and I got the burgers all ready. And the way I do these, if anyone cares to know.
Now, don't say that you always do that because you haven't.
Right, I've only recently been wrapping that. I'm never going to do it again. Screw it.
Okay.
I'm not even going to mention that.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, the way I perfected this is I put them down, give them a nice sear.
Gotcha.
8 minutes flip. Well, 8 minutes season flip. 8 minutes, season, flip. 8 minutes, season, flip, pull. So it takes about 24 to 28 minutes.
Okay.
I do them low and slow.
Yep.
And they come out perfect. So recently, the grill pan that we use, I have, and admittedly, probably not with burgers, for kielbasa and the ribs and
I'm
stuff.
telling you, because the burgers you did straight on this thing.
I put foil to cover because the grill pan gets so crapped up with carbon and it takes us forever to scrub. So anyway, I had to cover it with foil. So I go out there 8 minutes, season, flip. I go back in. We do some more prep work and everything.
Yeah.
I noticed 6 minutes went by, so I'm like, I'll go out there. By the time I get out there, the timer will go off because I use a timer.
Right.
And I walk out of the RV into the sunroom, and all I see is smoke. Like, I can't even see the camper next door.
Oh, my goodness.
And so I rush out there, and the entire grill was engulfed in flames because using the foil, I had created a grease pool.
You're so lucky that propane tank didn't blow. We would have had some major problems.
I know. It's lucky that I went out there, but I was so embarrassed that I ruined the meal.
Yeah.
Because then, of course, we all joked about it. We had a great time Saturday night, but we had full resources to throw something else on the grill.
I love Saturday night. We had a blast.
It turned out to be they brought over chicken sausages that were in the bottom of their freezer for God knows how long, but they thought it'd be interesting to try out.
Yeah.
I think I had 2 bites of mine, and each of you 3 had 1 bite of yours.
I know.
And then,
I had a couple bites.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, our one neighbor, she was putting the veggie dip on it because it was so overspiced.
Yeah.
She was trying to cool it down.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was like biting into a jalapeno pepper.
It was a good time. But the thing is, like, while we were preparing and the hamburgers won for the first 8 minutes, we were talking about how it's been so long since we entertained.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't entertained since the reunions. We used to have the reunions, or we had the barbecues, and we haven't done anything in so many years.
I'm
and we're not socialites.
But I want to be.
Right.
I don't always want to just sit around at home doing nothing. Maybe I want to go to the bar. Maybe I just want to go and hang out. Meet new people, see new things.
Well, tell COVID to go away. COVID stops a lot of that stuff from happening right now.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to have a talk with him.
So I totally boffed and ruined about $21 worth of hamburgers. They were hockey pucks when I opened up the grill and finally got the fire out. Well,
we ended up finding 2 more in the fridge.
Yeah, we found 2 more.
Actually,
we put on the chicken sausage.
You found 2 more. There was actually 4 in there.
So we would have done okay.
But we only found 2.
We would have done okay.
Yeah, I know. But we only found 2 Saturday night. And then we put those to one, and they were a raving success.
Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And these chicken sausage, and it was just fun. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, if you have somebody over and they're all like...
Right. And
then, like, all right, so, because you can't see me, guys, putting my hand on the table, my elbow on the table, making a fist on my hand, my chin is going on the
or
fist.
a lot of times you have people over that all stare at their phones.
Yeah. Right? Like we do.
So... So we weren't really, none of us were really happy with the chicken sausage. They did say they bought them on a whim. Interestingly enough, someone at work was talking about how they had picked up some chicken sausages, and they made a comment that I think we would agree with. Chicken has no business trying to be a sausage.
Right.
Because
that is so true.
I just feel like it was a mouthful of spices. Like, you could see before they were even cooked, the spices it was just so much spice. And I know what they were doing. They were saying, we're going to hide it so it tastes more like a sausage. Well,
yeah.
So I agree with the statement
Total
I heard
fail.
on Monday. Chicken has no business being a sausage.
Absolutely. So the people who made
Be
that
a chicken and stick with it.
Right? The people who made that chicken sausage, total fail.
So the next day when we entertained on Sunday, it was lunch meat sandwiches. I wasn't cooking.
Right? And we had a very delicious Sunday lunch.
Yeah.
And then we had one of our longest friends that we have since we moved to Delaware. We had them over on Sunday. And
yes, total socialites.
Yeah, we had a blast.
It was.
We really did.
It was fun. It was not the monotonous. You're right. Because we always, not joke around, but we always talk very serious about, well, this COVID doesn't affect us. We do nothing here, and then when we go down to our campsite, we do nothing there.
Right.
So you're quarantining, and don't go do this, and don't do that, and don't go to restaurants.
Right.
And it works for us. And then, of course, this more information out of the CDC this week is talking about places, restaurants, and stuff that may have been closed for a period of time and reopened. If they didn't do maintenance on their HVAC, now you have to worry about
old
Legionnaire's disease from the dirt coming out of the stagnant HVAC. Can you imagine that?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So not only do we have to worry about COVID,
Plus,
now we've got to worry about Legionnaire's disease
and a case of bubonic plague confirmed in Colorado.
Oh my God!
But the bubonic plague, they've long since cured that. So I don't think that's all that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, it is a big deal. Let me tell you something.
I
was reading a story on the news about the Wuhan laboratories that supposedly...
I thought you were going to say Wuhan clan.
Yeah, right. Supposedly released, COVID-19.
Right, supposedly, right.
Supposedly. Now, this laboratory, it deals with a lot of diseases.
Right.
A ton of them, actually.
Right, that's what they do there. They deal with diseases.
And the bubonic plague is one of them.
Right.
So, I mean, there's...
Well, they have confirmed cases of the bubonic plague in China, so that makes some sense.
Yeah,
but,
I guess if you think about it that way.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know if they're really responsible, because that doesn't fit the narrative of the whole COVID-19 being Donald Trump's fault. So you can't say that laboratory released it, because that doesn't fit the current narrative that it's his fault.
Oh, okay. All right. I gotcha. All right, so I won't say that again.
Correct yourself.
Correct myself.
So, and coming up in the next segment, folks, we're going to talk about what Walmart's doing to ease some of the COVID suffering, and we're going to talk about the coin shortage.
Oh, I know about okay, I'm excited about the Walmart.
And so we're going to talk about the coin shortage, Walmart. I'm trying to squeeze all this in. One other thing I want to squeeze in is TikTok and Trump.
Of course.
I just want to make. I want to help you understand things, if I can. And then later on, we have a new Wombat of the week. We have new Honor Thy Heroes, and if time permits, as always, one last thing coming up later on in the third segment. And lovely Sharen will not be joining us because she's going to cut grass at that time.
Right.
Anyway,
because no one touches my mountain.
Exactly. All right, so we're going.
That's the truth.
Wet our whistles, and we'll be back with more of the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. Stay right there. I'm serious. Do not move.
This is New York's super oldie station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It is the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. Thanks for coming back. If you did move and you left to get yourself a drink, thanks.
And if you stayed put, then you listened very well.
Right. So let's talk about this whole segment's going to kind of be, well, no, not the whole segment won't be COVID, but a lot of it will. Let's talk about Walmart. Were you going to say that you know what I'm going to talk about?
Yes, about Walmart.
Yeah, what?
And COVID-19.
What about it?
Okay, so Walmart has started this new thing, okay, where when people go shopping,
right,
they have nothing on their shelves.
Oh, that's not what I was going to talk about, but I like the way you delivered that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, nothing on their shelves.
And so we've complained on this show before about Elkton, Maryland, Middletown, Delaware, and you guys went to a third option yesterday. You and Katie, by the way, our daughter's home from Chicago and won't do the show with us, but you went, and it was the worst ever. But you went to one that we historically know to be bad as it is. And you decided to go there.
No.
Without an M16.
Hold the phone.
Without body armor.
The phone. I did not decide anything. Our daughter.
So you let your children dictate what you're going to do.
Decided where we were going.
I just want to be clear. You're allowing your daughter to dictate what you do.
She's the one who wanted to go there. So, yeah.
No, what I was going to talk about is...
Okay, go ahead.
What I was going to talk about is... drive-in movie screenings are coming to Walmarts across the United States, and they're going to be free. Yes. So what they're doing is the Walmart drive-in tour, okay, it gives you that big screen, outdoor, socially distanced, right, opportunity to make that happen.
Where, pray tell, are they putting these?
They're talking about doing them in 160 different Walmart stores across the country, and they're going to be hosting the drive-in movie nights until the end of October. Drew Barrymore has been tapped to be the virtual host of all these movie nights. So, I guess you'll see something from her on screen, first of all.
Yeah.
It's, and they created this idea in response to the coronavirus and the quarantine and the social distancing. According to Walmart's chief customer officer, we recognize the challenges of our customers and their families have faced over the past few months, and we wanted to create an experience where they could come together safely to create new memories. The Walmart drive-in is one small way that we're supporting the communities that we serve. So, August 14th, which is just a couple of days away, actually, by the time you get this podcast... It will be here.
Yeah.
So August 14th is when it starts, and it's no small initiative. Over the next few months, there'll be 320 movies playing from coast to coast, from Houston, Texas, to Sedalia, Montana.
So,
okay, all right, okay, they're just using that as, I was like, wait a minute, coast to coast?
Coast to coast.
So,
Montana is not a coast.
Right.
They do know this, right?
Film choices have been curated by Walmart's driving partner, the Tribeca Film Festival, so rest assured they will not be duds. From the safety of your vehicle, here's an idea of the selection of the kinds of movies that you're going to be able to enjoy. Inspiring sports stories like Friday Night Lights, The Karate Kid, and Space Jam. Blockbuster franchises including Black Panther, Pokemon, Detective Pikachu, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Spy Kids, Teen Titans Go, and Wonder Woman. Out of this world stories like E.T.
So they're not playing anything new.
Right. Ghostbusters, Men in Black, nostalgic films like Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, The Goonies, and The Wizard of Oz. Inspiring true stories from Dolphin Tale to Selena. Anything for Selena!
Salinas!
Animated features enjoyable for the youngest and the oldest, like Cars, The Iron Giant, Lego Movie, and Madagascar. So there will be filmmakers and special guests alongside Barrymore to help celebrate the comeback of the big screen onto your empty social calendar. If you've ever hoped to see stars like LeBron James, Jennifer Garner, director Peter Berg, and Chrissy Metz, then you might get lucky. They're all going to make special surprise virtual or in-person appearances at specific locations. So what they're saying is, for more information, you can head to thewalmartdrivein.com, thewalmartdrivein.com, to find out store locations, dates, and the films that will be shown at each stop on the movie tour. So this is really interesting because I had heard that the mall here in town was going to do that, and then nothing came to fruition because, you know, they had these empty parking lots.
Right.
This is sort of how the idea came about. And, of course, my sister works in the movie theater business, and I know that they're very concerned about the future of that.
Right.
And I even said to her, just talking to her on Facebook, I said, this is a prime opportunity. Like, you know, like today, whenever you're listening, I'm going to be talking about how, in one last thing if I get to it, how COVID has created some opportunities.
Okay.
Like, as bad as it is. And so, and I told Terry, I said, this is the opportunity for movie companies that are afraid of this happening to turn it around.
Right. And maybe
work,
build more drive-ins.
Drive-ins, you know. History repeats itself. And this is what Walmart is doing, is showing you that, hey, we're taking it back to the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s.
Right.
You know, the ultimate in movie theater entertainment
and
while social distancing.
Movies from that time.
Well, right. Or at least from the 80s. And
I know.
But, so we'll post the link up on the show notes so you can see that. And, of course, we're going to check it out, too, to find out if there's something around here that we can get the opportunity to go do that driving experience.
Oh, my God, that'd be awesome.
And talking about technology, I mean, today's technology, what's going to probably happen is the sound system that they're going to use is going to be on a Bluetooth transceiver.
Right.
So if you have a Bluetooth stereo in your car or your smartphone or tablet, you're going to Bluetooth basically to the sound.
Right.
So you have all the climate control inside your car. The window's up. You won't have to have it cracked. Remember in the old days when you had to crack the window?
Because the window would only go up so far because of the metal bar right there hanging the speaker on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a cool thing that Walmart is doing.
I'm excited about that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out and see if we can catch one.
Yeah.
Well, the question might become, how far would you drive to experience that? So COVID apparently, because I can't think of any other reason right now, and in fact this reason doesn't make sense, but there's a coin shortage. How is there a coin shortage?
I don't understand it.
You
know what I think? People are hoarding coins because they're trying to save up for a rainy day.
I mean, we save our coins.
Yeah. So why wouldn't other people do it?
But people do that all the time anyway.
But now, people who wouldn't have done it, they're doing it because of COVID.
But has the mint shut down? I don't know.
No, but all the coins that are out in the United States today, I'm
still not understanding it.
Okay, so here, Katie and I and the cashier at Acme had a conversation. Okay. I flippantly asked the cashier, "Are you in the coin shortage?" And the cashier was completely stupid about it. She was like, I don't know. So, and I said, you know what the shortage is about? And she was like, no, why? I said, because people don't want to touch the coins. And Katie said, no, that's not the reason.
Oh, well, what did Katie say?
And she said, and I said, well, I'll be honest, I don't think there is a real shortage. And she said there absolutely is a real shortage. She said her CVS at times have, told the bank they want this amount of coins and this amount of coins and this amount, totaling sometimes up to $1,500. And they would come back with $200 worth of coins.
So last weekend when we were down at the campground, I stopped in we grabbed some lunch at the Wawa in Rehoboth Beach.
Right.
And I had a 20 in my pocket. The bill came to $19.31, and I was about to give her the 20. I'm like, oh wait, never mind. Let me put this on my card because the coin shortage. Now this cashier said, yeah, I don't understand this is what she said. She says, I don't get it either. we still take bills and they're just as dirty.
Absolutely. And that's,
think of that statement, and that goes with what you just said. Yeah.
About why they're not handling coins.
And what doesn't make sense about that is they're not handling coins anyway because they shoot out.
I know.
In most Wawas, they got the coin shooters.
Yeah, but a lot of people, including myself, if it comes to 1931, I'll give you a 20 and 31 cents.
Right, well, that's because, we have a coin shortage.
So I'm handling the money.
At the bottom of your friggin' pocketbook is where all the coins are. That's why there's a shortage.
Shut up. That's the truth.
She's like, wait, it comes to what? $6.98? I have 98 cents. Hold on. And then she's shoveling through, a 40-pound sack of pennies.
How'd you know that's how much my pocketbook weighed?
I mean, how in the hell do we... A coin shortage...
I don't get it as well. It doesn't make sense.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I call bullshit a little bit.
Yeah.
If the mint is still operating, then why? I mean, what's different? I don't think that many more people are saving coin than 4 or 5 months ago. I do not believe that's happening. We're saving the same. If we have it, we throw it into the jar.
Right.
We haven't stepped up our game. I don't think anyone else has.
No.
So if the mints are still operating, there's something more suspect going on. And if it's about touching money, I mean, for God's sakes, how many times do we have to tell you the recommendation is that you wash your hands often?
Absolutely.
You come back from the store, do you not wash your hands? I do.
I do. I use hand sanitizer as soon as I get in the car.
I wash my hands after coming in from taking Molly out for a walk.
You do. You're kind of creepy like that.
Filthy animal.
Oh, Molly.
Kidding, Molly. But,
See, you just hurt her feelings. Look at her face.
It's habit forming, that we do this.
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
It should be habit forming, I'll tell you.
All right, so there's a coin shortage, and we don't know why. And feel free to talk to us on Facebook if you know why. I mean, if you know facts. I mean, if you work for the Treasury Department, or if you work for whatever agency said, we have a coin shortage!
Or if you work for the news agency that put out the story,
right.
The fake story that there's a coin shortage to try and get us to do whatever whatever your intended purpose was.
You perfectly segued the last part of the segment.
Oh.
Whatever news agency put out that. It's a perfect segue because, so I guess it's been a week and a half or more now since President Trump announced, coming off of Air Force One or Marine One, whichever it was, spoke to reporters because there were some rumors that he was trying to do something about getting rid of TikTok in the United States. And he said, we're looking into it. He said, we may ban TikTok, we may not ban TikTok, but we are looking into it. So people on TikTok who follow whatever the news says are taking it hard, and they're lashing out.
Right.
All of a sudden they hate them. 20-second TikToks of them giving Trump pictures the finger, the whole thing.
Wow. That's all adult.
Right. And so, me, I'm not left, I'm not right. I like to try to present things in a very independent, very center, take a look at it this way.
Yeah.
And, President Trump is not going to come out and just say, he's not going to come out and be like, wake up one morning and say, I hate TikTok. So I'm going to get thrown out of here.
But I don't understand how a president can ban a social media site.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to try to cover for everybody. So TikTok is a social media site, okay, and it comes out of China. It's hosted out of China, and you know what I mean?
Are you sure? Because the owner goes on, or the CEO goes on, she's Australian.
Okay. However, so as I said, he didn't wake up one morning and say, I don't like him, I'm going to get him banned. This comes from security reports, intelligence reports. This is based on activity that they're looking at, including the fact that, and I'm trying to be cautious. In fact, I looked at my settings the other day, because if you're not careful, like with any app, they're able to get information about you, information about the people you follow and friend on there, and they're extracting that because if you didn't pay close enough to the attention to the permissions.
You
now,
need to go over on my phone and do that.
Yeah, I will. So it's based on all these things, and he wants to stop espionage, identity theft, and things like that. Now, a week and a half later, if you need any proof of that, the Border Patrol made a massive bust, I think in Kentucky. Please don't call me a bunch of names on social media if I got that wrong. It's not right in front of me. I think it was Kentucky. Over 20,000 fake U.S. driver's licenses that arrived here from China.
I remember that.
So what does that tell you? How did they get this information? So I'm just saying, start putting the puzzle pieces together. He's not trying to dick you around. He's not trying to be, the worst person in your life. He's trying to look out for us. And this is, like I said, it's not based on his opinion. But, look at it this way, too. Since he's come into office, he's been very concerned about dealings with China.
Yeah.
And this is just my opinion from the center, rightfully so. So think of it that way. Maybe he's just trying to protect us. And that's not the only bust. Another state intercepted 9,000 driver's licenses from China and other fake IDs. Another state, 2,000 or 3,000.
Oh, okay.
You got all these seeds being delivered willy-nilly into the states. Mm-hmm. In fact, I don't. Did we talk about this last week?
I think we did.
One guy took his seeds and planted them to see what would happen, and they were confiscated because it bloomed like immediately, and it was. They say it was a beautiful flower, but agriculture came in and took the plant.
Why?
Because you don't know what you're doing.
Okay, but what kind of plant was it?
Something they'd never seen before. It was just some sort of flower and plant, but it bloomed immediately.
No.
And they're unsolicited. You're just going to ship seeds to addresses all over the United States?
No.
Hoping for what? Take over our agriculture? Are you trying to take our corn?
There is something else going on with those seeds that the Department of Agriculture is coming in and confiscating your plants.
Right, which maybe we don't know the whole story.
There's something else going on
but
there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things that go on inside.
Like maybe a drug grows inside of it.
Okay, right.
You know what I mean?
And what does that drug do? We don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that go on inside government and intelligence that we don't know.
Right.
And we wouldn't want to know.
Absolutely.
But I wish people would have a little respect and think twice and look at all different factors before they just decide that somebody is filled with evil intent or not doing good or, whatever it is.
Exactly.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So if you're mad about him possibly getting TikTok out of here, then I have worse news for you. Microsoft wants to buy the United States part of it so they can keep it going and be the new owners of the United States wing of TikTok. And I got news for you as a technology professional. Everything Microsoft buys, they ruin it.
Yep.
Hotmail.
Yep.
Skype.
Yep.
I can keep going on. I can go on.
Is it raining?
I can't tell.
I hear it.
You hear it. Anyway, so while you check that, that's okay because we're going to sign off. But before you go and check it,
Okay. I'm sorry, people.
It's time for you to say goodbye, Sharon.
It is, but I'm having so much fun.
Right, but you need to mow the grass.
Okay, but I'm having so much fun. All right.
All right,
Come on.
so say goodnight, Sharon.
Good night, Sharen.
All right, folks. I'm going to come back after this. We got Wombat of the week, one last thing if time permits, and, of course, a new Honor Thy Heroes. Stick with me. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. I'll be back after this.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. who is off for this segment, and I made her go cut the grass. So that's what she's doing. But welcome back. This is the third stretch of the show, the final stretch, the third part. Various different names, whatever you want to call it. But this is where you and I spend some time together talking about some of our regular features of the show, including Wombat of the Week and Honor Thy Heroes. And if time permits us, and I think it might today, depends on when you're listening. If time permits, we'll do one last thing, hashtag one last thing, and we go from there. So if you're new to the show, you'll find out what these segments are and how even you can participate. So we move right into the Wombat of the Week. This is a segment where we talk about stupid or idiotic people or stupid or idiotic things that wind up in the news. So if you want, you could send us news stories of stupid people doing stupid things. Send us the links. You can do so by emailing them to joelmichalecradio@gmail.com, or certainly you can send it across Facebook on the Facebook page at JM Talk. So that is the handle over there. And you can send them in. They must be accompanied by a link, and it's got to be a legitimate website too. Like we have to check that out because sadly, the truth is that there are a ton of wombats out there for real. But I don't know if it's so many or what, but there's also a lot of satirical sites out there that make people look stupid, and they're really not. Satirical sites that make up fake news, not the other fake news, but like truly fake news stuff just to get a laugh. And we have found that we have to sift because you never know what people are going to send in. So that's how you can participate and send us your stories. Interesting Wombat of the Week we have this week. And we want to talk about NASA. Yes, NASA. I mean, I'm a space junkie. I'm a space nerd. And yet NASA joins the ranks of Wombats of the Week. And this is why. So, we have this unfortunate thing called the cancel culture out there. People wanting to change this and change that, rewrite history. You can't be like this anymore. You can't honor these people. You can't praise these people. Everything's got to be how they feel now, not the way we've been living for all these years, but how they feel. And so this political correctness has now extended to space junkies. NASA is saying that planets, galaxies, and other heavenly bodies will no longer be referred to by offensive nicknames. So the Houston Chronicle reported last Thursday that the space agency said all planets and heavenly bodies will be referred to only by their scientific names. So under the new rules, the Eskimo Nebula, for example, which was discovered in 1787 by William Herschel, will only be referred to now as NGC 2392. Are we going to send a rocket to NGC 2392 this year, or are we going to wait to do that next year? I don't know. What the hell is NGC 2392? I don't know. Didn't you read the memo? The so-called Siamese Twins galaxy will now probably be known as NGC 4567 and NGC 4568. And, years and years and years ago, I bought a star for the lovely Sharen. And I know it's got an official scientific name. It didn't have an offensive name. So I guess we can't call it Planet of the Fisty Bumps anymore. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to dig out the paperwork to make sure that if I tell someone that I bought a star for the lovely Sharen, that I'm referring to it by its scientific name. So NASA says in their news release, as the scientific community works to identify and address systemic discrimination and inequality in all aspects of the field, it has become clear that certain cosmic nicknames are not only insensitive, but can be actively harmful. To who? To who? I didn't know planets and nebulas and galaxies could be easily offended. This is like, and we've talked about this before, this is really overstepping. This is really overstepping that cancel culture. I just don't get it. how did we go from, okay, now I understand this, the systemic discrimination. I get all that. These are things that as a society we need to work on. Absolutely. How did it bleed into NASA and the names of planets and galaxies and nebulas and stars? How did we get to that point? Like, who is worried about the names of constellations? I'm not, because I have to get up in the morning and go to my job. I have things to do. I have to provide for my family. So the last thing on my mind is whether or not a pair of twin planets are referred to as twins. I just don't get it, and I think we're taking it a step too far. So let's see. NASA says they're examining its use of unofficial terminology for cosmic objects as part of its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. NASA's Associate Administrator for Diversity and Equal Opportunity, Stephen Shee, agreed, saying these nicknames and terms may have historical or cultural connotations that are objectionable and unwelcoming, and NASA is strongly committed to addressing them. Bite me, NASA. I'm not. I can't get behind that. I don't know. Like, I mean, are we not going to be? Is Earth not going to be called Earth anymore because we're going to offend somebody? Are we going to change that? I don't even know what the scientific name for Earth is. And how could you change the name? Scientists, and NASA came after Earth, so you have no right changing the name of Earth. It's not yours to rename. Did you ever think of that? So I don't know. This could change astronomy to the point where you drive astronomers up a flippin' wall. But hey, that's what you want to do. But in the meantime, that makes NASA, and it hurts me to say this, NASA is our Wombat of the week this week. So, and then hopefully I don't have to change the name of Wombat of the week to something that's, that doesn't offend wombats. Because it's not like I'm coming home every day and there's wombats with torches and pitchforks and razor blades hanging around my house waiting for me to get home, forcing me to change the name of this segment. So anyway, so that's the Wombat of the Week. NASA, you are the recipients of the crown. Enjoy it well. And folks, make sure you get your stories in of stupid people doing stupid things or idiotic things. That's how it works. Now, moving on to our segment called Honor Thy Heroes. And this is where we do exactly that. We honor everyday heroes. Everyday people doing extraordinary things for their fellow man or woman. And I want to talk about a young lady ago. I want to talk about a young lady today. And this, we're getting this off the Good News Network. Yes, folks, if you're ever feeling like the news is really too much, you can go to goodnewsnetwork.org and read about some really cool stuff. So, I want to talk about a young woman whose canceled internship turned into a big opportunity to help her entire state. Just a few months ago, Emory University student, why is this not Leah Rubel? I'm like, why do you plant the name so far down? Who writes these stories? Actually, I should just rearrange them, right? Instead of counting on them having it worded correctly. Anyway, Leah Rubel, Emory University student, as other people gearing up for the summer when COVID-19 sacked her plans. After receiving countless emails about canceled internships, she says, I just about concluded that I would be spending my summer twiddling my thumbs. She lives in Bar, Vermont, which is a blue-collar town of about 10,000 people. So she got together with some other people, and of course, telehealth access for seniors was born this past March. And its job is to get communications technology such as smartphone or tablets, computers to elderly patients who lack and very much need it. Because, the fabric, unless you're stuck under a rock, the fabric has changed in dealing with your doctors. And so they're doing this thing called telehealth, telemed, FaceTime is another option. You're basically virtually meeting with your doctors. Now, it doesn't work very well with dentists. I heard a lot of phone screens have been broken when dentists were trying to work on people's mouths on FaceTime. So that's not working out too well, however. So she's been working on this. She says it's more than just a device. It's a virtual connectivity tool, and it could save someone's life. She's 18 years old. She joined the initiative in March as the lead for Vermont, and she says it just hurts her heart that they don't have the privilege and they can't connect to friends and families and cannot even connect to their doctors. So this idea, which was born in the 60s as part of NASA's mission to put men on the moon, NASA shows up in the hero segment. Because they needed an algorithm and a program that would work for medical care in space too. So they basically used some ideas from this platform, and then in 2002, a former NASA surgeon and engineer founded Teladoc, which became the first nationwide telehealth company in 2005. Then in 2015, the first medical facility totally dedicated to telehealth opened in Chesterfield, Missouri. And it's called Mercy Virtual. But many people don't have access to these services because of lack of technology. And in Vermont, it's much worse because only 19% of the population is over 65. And that's compared to the rest of the nation, which is 15%. And 10% of the residents don't have access to broadband. So telehealth access for seniors has expanded to over 50 volunteers, 26 states, and they raised an estimated $38,000 and donated 825 devices. In Vermont, for example, her part of it collected 50 devices and $800. So she says if they're still quarantining, then it's very important for their mental health that they have these ways of connecting to doctors, to family, to friends. And that's what they do. They provide a way for an elderly person to have those face-to-face conversations with their loved ones, or face-to-face with their doctors. Because what if they can't get to the doctors for various reasons, including social distancing, pandemic lockdowns, and such like that? So telehealth access for seniors offers a free remote phone and email text support team, so that help is always available 24/7. The organization also provides instructions on how to set up the devices. According to Rubel, the pandemic has opened our eyes to how important it is to have digital tools and the importance of equipping our seniors with these devices. Let me tell you something, folks. That is very true because I work in the field of technology, and I will be the first one to tell you that this pandemic has actually driven technology to make things more widely available and get things going again that may have normally been stopped. Like take, for example, the quarantines, the lockdowns, all the concerns about the disease spreading has caused numerous doctors' offices to slow the spread, not have their offices open. And in fact, I know I made a little rib joke about dentists, but my dentist office is still not open yet. Many dentist offices are not taking regular patients. So in technology, it has brought forth something that they had in small measure and get this platform elevated. And how can we use this to make sure people could still deal with their doctors, still talk to them about prescriptions and symptoms and things like that, and make these things work? And it's not just this. I'm discussing this because this right now is a topic at hand. But it has made those kinds of changes in technology. And Leah Rubel, for her efforts and everyone working in this venture, but she is selected to be our Honor Thy Heroes recipient this week because she's doing amazing things for the seniors in the state of Vermont. And we thank her for her contributions and her dedication and service to her community. So keep up the good work, and thank you very much. That is our Honor Thy Heroes recipient. Now, like the Wombat of the Week, folks, if you know of someone out of the newspaper, and seriously, like last week, we grabbed a local paper out of Cape May. I'm telling you, they're the best places to find amazing people. So send us those stories in. Same channel at Gmail. It's Joel Michalec Show at gmail.com, or get on Facebook, send us a message at JM Talk. So that's how you do that. And send those stories in. We'll be glad to honor everyday heroes doing things for their fellow man and woman. So I do have a couple of quick minutes, if my mouse will cooperate, and then I can talk about one last thing. I do have one quick thing, and of course it's COVID related. And scientists are getting together and they're trying to figure out what the scenario looks like for 2021. And what they agree on is that this pandemic's not going anywhere, and it's probably going to be sticking around for a long time. And what they think is going to happen is intermittent closures here and there. They have some numbers that are really outrageous in my eyes. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. They're estimating 250 million by next year being infected worldwide and 1.75 million dead. I don't know how realistic that is. I think that since we're making a prediction, okay, this isn't the weather. If we're making a prediction about this disease next year, that leaves us a lot of opportunity, right? That leaves us a lot of opportunity to do something about that right now by following guidelines, wearing the mask, taking it seriously. I'm not going to sit here and blame or harass anybody, as I've been on social media, for taking a stance about the pandemic. If you don't want to believe it to be real, that's fine. As I said before, we all need to get along. So me doing my part of getting along is saying, oh, that's your opinion? Great, I'm going to move on. If I don't agree with it, I don't have to bash you about it. I don't have to comment about it. I can be an adult and move on to the next conversation. I, however, have had family members directly affected by this disease. So I know it's real. And I think if everyone took the advice seriously of what we're being told to do and exercise these simple things, like I know the mask wearing is a pain in the ass. I get it. But look at China. They've been wearing masks for like 10 years every day. Now, you can think anything you want. My thought is, they knew they knew they're living dangerously over there, so let's wear a mask every day. But what harm does it to be a little inconvenienced if we can slow this down? This is one of those things that I think the predictions could be wrong, because we are the ones at the front lines that can take a first line stance at what's going on and possibly make that difference. So be the difference. And that is one last thing. I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast this week. Remember to go to www.jmtalk.net and subscribe to the podcast. We're on every major podcasting network. So don't call me up and tell me you can't do it. Just do it and enjoy the show. And we're always interested in your feedback, so be sure to do that as well. Join us on social media, TikTok and Facebook at JM Talk, and Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. That's the way to stay in touch. Meanwhile, wear your mask, be good to one another, and we're going to catch you next time on the Joel Michalec Show, featuring the lovely Sharen. Goodbye, everybody.